we're gonna go over sprints today. Woo! So a sprint is essentially riding as fast as you can with resistance to a point that you are still in control of your pedal stroke. So we can take a sprint in the saddle, which is probably the most common that you're gonna see in our classes. But you could also sprint out of the saddle. Sometimes you'll hear that referred to as a run. You could even sprint in a hover. We're going to stick to in the saddle today. I know Jules is very happy about that, so.
I mean, let's be real. The top of the camera might cut my head if I stand up, so.
Very true. So I'm gonna ask Jules to mess around with her resistance and become familiar with it until she finds herself at about like a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. And what that means here at Triangle Foundry, since we don't have computers, is that she feels like she's working at a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. And that can be different on different bikes because they all have a little bit different variations on their tension and resistance. It can be different based on what time of day it is for you. It can be different based on how many times you've worked out that week. There's just so many different factors that can play into where your 6 out of 10 is any given time you get on the bike. So you are at what, 5 or 6 now?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Okay. When you're sprinting, you want your shoulders to be soft away from your ears. Want your hands to be soft on the handlebars or really light. We want to engage our core by hugging in from the sides of the waist. And her knees want to track forward. So we don't want to take the legs out like they're bowed, they track forward. And what she'll do is just pick up her speed. We want to pick up our speed until we feel like we're hitting about that 10 out of 10. So our sprint is always maxing us out.
I was saying there, I'm bouncing a little bit
Yeah.
though, and that's cueing me to let me know that I might need to bump up my resistance just a little bit so that I can stay in control and my legs aren't flying out from underneath me.
Exactly. So there was like a little bit of bounce to her. It might be hard to see it from your guys' view, but especially like the hips, when they start bouncing, that means you need more resistance so that you can cut that bounce and you really feel like you're using the resistance of the bike. You can slow it down.
Okay. I'll just keep sprinting my way through this video.
Yeah, so essentially that's a sprint. You may also hear us refer to a sprint in arrow position. So if Jules brings her hands out to the top of the U-bar and lightly sets her forearms down on the handlebars, this is arrow position. It's just kind of like a really aerodynamic race position. Yeah, we don't really have much wind coming against us. I don't think our fans are quite that strong that we need to worry about aerodynamics here, but sometimes it allows you to really pull any kind of stress or tension that you're holding in the shoulders, totally pull that out and focus deep on the legs and the power here. I think that's about it for sprint. She's picking it up again there for a second. And when you're in the middle of a sprint, if you start bouncing, just reach down, tap that resistance up little by little until you feel like that bounce is out of there and you're fully in control of the speed that you're making on the bike.
There's no perfect, I'm automatically going to put my resistance here and just know that it's going to be the perfect sprint. Sometimes it does take a little bit of experimentation because, again, your ride can change depending on what time of day it is, what day of the week it is, or even just how your mood is for that class. So all perfect things to keep in mind whenever you're considering where you should be at and staying in control of your ride.
Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, we're going to sprint on out of here now.